My name is Zedd. I'm 24 years old. I make music. It happens to mostly be electronic, but you know, I've made all sorts of music before. I started making music when I was 4 because my parents both play instruments and they just taught me to do that. And then I got into the music business, I would say, when I was around 12, when I made a band with my brother. It was like a rock metal band, and we started playing contests and recording records, so that was our first like studio experience. And then when I was around 17, 18 is when I found my love for electronic music, and it was very much non-business. I just did it because it was a fun thing to do. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't like electronic music either, so it was just I learned something new, and I like learning new things. But that became a business in a way, but wasn't intended to be. It was just intended to be something that I liked doing next to being in a band. And then within a few years, I just wrote a totally random MySpace message to Skrillex and told him to check out my song. You know, that was kind of something that people didn't really do back then, and YouTube was not full of, hey, check out my song. So it worked, and then he checked out the song, he loved it, and then he brought me on tour, and I made a bunch of remixes for him, and we've worked together, and you know, been best friends ever since, so it's been a good ride. It very much depends on the artist and the situation. A lot of the times I will just write a song, and then I will need to find someone to sing it, and I'll brainstorm which kind of voice I want to have, make a list, and then you know, try to reach out to the artist that I think would fit the song the best. Sometimes I just sometimes I get a vocal from someone, and I write the song around it. Sometimes I just make a song and it happens to be instrumental where I thought there would be vocals. So it really depends on the artist, and yeah, sometimes we're in the studio together and write something from scratch. Any way that makes the song amazing, you know, works. How it felt to win a Grammy? Well, it felt unreal. I had my parents out, and my brother, and my team, and a few friends of mine, and somehow I didn't really think I was going to win. And like I saw the name up there, but I still didn't realize it. And then I heard everyone around me scream really loud, and that kind of woke me up, and I was like, oh, holy shit. So it felt really surreal, and I was not very prepared for it. And the whole day just was pretty amazing for me. Like, I was on this high for so long, and it just, yeah, it felt amazing. It still feels amazing. Yeah, I started the song probably a year before it was finished, and another year or half a year before it got released, and another year and a half before it won a Grammy, or a year before it won a Grammy. So it was a really long process, and it started with a little clip without a vocal. And what was the last part? Well, I did the drop, and I felt like there was a need for a vocal that just lifts the entire song. And I wrote a song with Matthew Koma before, which I loved the vocal, but I felt like the vocal didn't really fit the song. And then I put them together, and I realized that there's quite a lot of magic happening between the track and the vocal. So I kind of rewrote the song around the vocal, and then that was it. So the song was done, and then the last process was finding the right singer. And we tried a bunch of singers out, and I just didn't love it. And I was actually really close not even putting the song on the album because I was not happy with the way the vocals sounded. And a few days before deadline, my manager showed me Fox's, just her own music, and I was like, oh, that's exactly the kind of voice I want for Clarity. So we reached out to them, and like 2 days later, she was in London. She went into the studio to record the vocal. We had like a 15-minute Skype conversation. I explained everything I wanted and the way I wanted it. And then they sent over the vocal to me. I was in LA, and then I finished the song and last minute handed it over, and then it happened to be a song that changed my life. I think the Grammy is something that is very well known in the entire world. I've had decent success in America, but in Europe, for example, people didn't really know who I was. And when I won the Grammy, people, especially in Germany, people were more aware of me and that I am from Germany and all that stuff. So I think for me personally, it was an amazing feeling to get recognized. I just didn't even really think that I would get a nomination. It has nothing to do with winning or not winning. When I got the nomination, I was really, really happy to see that, all the hard work is seen or heard by people. And yeah, aside from that, I think a lot of people outside of the States now are familiar with my music. What's up, guys? My name is Zedd, and you're watching GRAMMY Pro.